Sanbonani, Ninjani out there. Molweni guys, Ninjani. I hope you guys are good. I am doing amazing. I'm doing great actually. How are you guys doing this winter? Because Hannah, this winter is not here to play. I could not have picked a better time to be on leave, Betunana. Gosh, I hope you guys are good. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sipho Sam, popularly known as Ukohle, and I welcome you to the channel. If you like content that relates to vlogs, lifestyle, self-development, wellness, plugs here and there, reviews, beauty, this is definitely the place to be. So do consider subscribing. How you subscribe is that at the moment you'll see that the subscribe button just says subscribe. You click on there, then it will say subscribed. You are part of the community. Again, if you like what you see, also click on the like button. It also does do a lot for the channel. And if that's for whether or not you are subscribed, please do click on the like button if you do like the content. I would highly appreciate it. And of course, it will do us a lot when we get to, approaching brands. Those things count a lot, and it also does, help the content to reach, more people, which means that we will have more people within our community. And thank you guys so much. Anyways, this video Betunana is a life update, a sabbatical Q&A. Before I went AWOL on you guys, I did post a poll on Instagram relating to a sabbatical. And I'll be answering those questions in this video, and I do hope you enjoy. Life update. Where have I been? So for those who don't know, in April, I quit my job actually in March. So April was my last month. Was supposed to be my last month, but I went back in May and consulted, because the time that I chose actually to quit was a bit awkward for my team. So I offered to help them for the month of May. So I was basically doing that in May, and my sabbatical officially started in June, right? So it's been a month and a week. A month and a week. And it's been great, Sana. I have been resting. I haven't been doing much. I haven't been outside. If you say you saw me outside, you are lying. In the month of June, like literally I was inside indoors the whole time. Even like with gym, I haven't gymmed for in June. I was literally indoors, not even being productive in terms of reading, what I know. I was just taking resting to its literal meaning, which means that you don't do anything. I was literally not doing anything. I was even taking a break from social media. In terms of creating content, I deleted Instagram completely. WhatsApp now it was on pause. I think the only social media I was actively in was TikTok, and that was me as a consumer there even. But other than that, it was just me binging. That person who sleeps at 4-5 in the morning, wake up at 3 p.m. You do something to eat, you go back to bed, you clean if you feel like doing it. I have been enjoying this phase of my life, guys. I've been living my best girlfriend life. You stay-at-home girlfriend. I was living my best life. Still am. It's great, Betuna. I never thought that I would enjoy not doing anything so much. The way that I was so tired, man, and so drained. I really needed to just shut down and literally not do anything. That's what's been happening for the past month. And I did think that I'll still be creating content, but it just happened that I procrastinated, and it ended up being a month of me not creating. Though in the first 2 weeks I did do vlogs, but I didn't get to posting them because I first wanted to do this video before I continued creating content, because I felt like I needed to summarize the whole sabbatical thing before we continue, with everything else. So that's why we are here, and that's basically how my life has been. There's nothing else that has drastically changed. And it's so funny how it feels like a lot has changed, but it's just the work aspect of my life. And it goes to show how much time and how much portion of my life work took, that it feels like, there's been this drastic change. But yeah, guys, that's it. And then we're going to move on to the second segment of this video, which is basically around the sabbatical. I will be answering questions relating to the sabbatical. And yeah, I've written them down here so that I don't forget any of them, and they're also on my phone. All right, so if I could just find them quickly. Okay, found it, guys. If you aren't already, please do follow me on Instagram. I will have the link to my socials linked in the description box below. Okay, so the first question is, what made you take a sabbatical? So there's quite a number of things that made me take the sabbatical. But I think the two most prominent reasons were that I was very much tired. I was tired, guys. I was drained. I was stretched emotionally and mentally. Work was a lot, and on the other side I was dealing also with my personal childhood traumas, which somehow were being triggered a lot more than they would usually be. So yeah, I was also going through a lot emotionally. And yeah, and also fun fact is that I was actually planning on taking a sabbatical a year from now. The current, quitting did sort of come as a surprise for me as well, though it was something that I was planning to happen eventually, but I did not plan for it to happen this soon. But yeah, basically that is the crux of why I quit. Right. And just to also give you a background about myself, to give you context, I've made it so far without having like proper guardians in terms of my career. And as much as I've always been someone who works hard, who delivers, value and all of that, in high school, the later part of my high school, I was like part of the top 10 in varsity. I got my A's. But I think in my honors year is when I think things started going go, because a person can only, do so much alone, man. I was going through a lot. On top of that, I lost my daughter 2018. I lost my dad 2021. So it's been a lot. And I think at the time I tried to deal with it the best I can. And my way of dealing with it is my brain just has this way of me, forgetting things that traumatize me, if that makes sense. Even though I went to therapy, my fundamental goal was for me to be better so that I can move on and live life, and I think that catched up with me recently, but yeah, basically that is the reason. I was just emotionally and mentally overstretched. Another question is, how long in advance did you financially plan before taking the leap? Sure. So one thing about me, and anyone who knows me knows that I'm an avid saver and investor, sometimes to my own detriment, because I feel like I overdo it a bit and deprive myself of a lot. So for the sabbatical specifically, I don't have a specific time frame where I said, okay, I'm going to start now to save for the sabbatical. But what I did is I always saved for an emergency fund. And at my time of actually starting the emergency fund, for me, it was a matter of, okay, anything can happen with work, and should such a time come, I should have like a safe buffer for me to, go through any period of that time. Pardon. And I think I started doing that in 2019, when I got my first permanent job. I started like saving bit by bit. I think around like 5 or 10% of my salary at the time, and I gradually increased it as the months actually went by. So it first started off as an emergency plan, and then from 2021, I think, is when I actually started building a sabbatical, what do you call this? A sabbatical savings. Yeah, for 3 months. So I started saving then. But also then I didn't think that I'll really go through it, but I was like, let me save it too, for when I am actually ready to call it one, then I'd have reserves. And then also another thing about me is I am a person who does not like taking debt. Literally the only active debt that I have is my phone and my credit card. And those two I got because I wanted to get a credit record. Those two does help in terms of your credit record, and that's the only reason why I took that. Otherwise, with anything else, even like with helping at home, like the projects that I do at home, everything I save for it so that I can do cash. If I don't afford it, I don't. It's either I don't do it or I save for it. Those have always been my principles. And even with me not having a car, I think that is part of why I don't have a car. Like, I don't know, like with big payment obligation thingies, I'm just and I think it has helped me also be able to take this break, because I don't have any major repayments that I need to do, and also I just needed to prepare myself mentally, because I do help out at home, and as I said, I do projects at home. So I really had to put myself first and be selfish a bit. It was hard, I won't lie, but I really needed to be selfish in order for me to fill into my cup and be able to, once my cup is full, continue, filling in other people's cup and being there, for my family. And I think also my family has been the main part of me not being able to take a sabbatical. But I was like, you know what, guys, oti. And before I reach a point where I break and the worst, which I do not know what could happen, it's best for everyone's interest for me to take this break. And sure, my family was very supportive. When you overthink things, and you think, oh my gosh, like, what is who gonna say, da 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 da. But when I shared it with my family, they were very supportive. My mom and aunt were like, Sana, your life and your mental health means, a lot. So if you need to take the break, take it. We trust you. I was like, what? You're telling me all along I was stressing myself out. God, it's going to be so, well received. Yeah, so yeah, that is how I planned for my sabbatical. Yeah, basically that's how long it took for me to save up for the sabbatical. I'd say to save specifically, I think it took me 2 years, 2021, 2 or 3. Let's say 2 to 3 years to save for the sabbatical. And then another question is it different from a leave? My one is different from a leave because I completely quit. I quit because we weren't able to reach like a common ground with my employer at the time because of operational needs. With the space that I'm in, it's very demanding, and we were already operating with, less personnel. So I wanted at least 2 to 3 months, and it wasn't feasible really for the operational needs. And as I said, if you guys remember, I actually felt bad after quitting, and I was like, okay, I will help for a month, and then after that, one officially take my sabbatical. So no, mine was a leave, but with some, I know with the company, if you've finished, I think it's 10 years or 5 years or something, then you can take a sabbatical, but I'm not too sure whether it's paid or it's not paid. But I'm not, I didn't even have like 3 years with the company, and I was like, yo, nobody didn't open and paying me 3 years before taking the sabbatical. I said I'm being so sure now, like I wasn't going to be able to, you know. So yeah. Did you get paid for it? Okay, no, I answered that. Who decides the duration? I think with regards to the duration, again, if you and your employer are able to reach, you know, a common ground and something that will work for both the business and yourself, then I guess you guys agree. But if in my case one cannot accommodate the other, then you know it's a matter of going cold turkey. And then the last question is, what are your plans for the sabbatical? Okay, I think I answered this at the beginning. My plans were to literally rest, pull myself towards myself. And I don't know, of late, I've just been so, what's the word? I'm looking for a word. I've been intentional. Yes, I've been intentional about my feelings and myself, you know, which is something that I did not do much of in my years of growing. And the more I drew closer to myself, the more it became louder for me to take the time off, you know. And with the kind of space that I was in, anyone who is in asset management knows asset management, fund accounting, which is what I did. It's a very demanding job. So it was difficult for me to have like snippets of really focusing on myself, if that makes sense. So for me, the sabbatical was a way of me drawing back toward myself, and I felt like also I needed a pivot, you know. So also to take this time to see and explore other interests, you know. And yeah, that's basically those are basically my plans for the sabbatical, to take the time off, pull myself towards myself, fill my cup so that I can go back and, you know, push again. Yeah. My plans going forward, I want to learn other skills, you know, learn other skills so that I can be like in a different space. I feel like at this point in my life, I need to do something different, you know, something more exciting, obviously more rewarding. Yeah, so that's my plan going forward. And also take content creation a bit more seriously. So that would mean you guys please engage more so that I'm also motivated to create more and to put out more content. And I mean, I have the time now until I go back to corporate to do all of that and have a proper plan on how I'm going to manage both, you know. Yeah, but anyways, guys, I think that's it for this video. If I missed anything, please do not hesitate to comment down below. I'll be more than happy to answer any question that you might have. And as I said, I'm so happy to be back. Yeah, I miss creating content so much. If you have watched till this far, thank you so much. Please do check if you've liked, because you clearly do like the content, and to check if you have subscribed. Other than that, from me to you, with love and light, I'll see you guys on my next upload. Bye.